Hi everyone, Lynn here, and today I want to talk to you about organization. I have been on the quest for the last couple of months trying to reorganize my room with storage that actually works for me. And even though I'm not going to show you the entire room yet because it's still a work in progress, I do want to show you an area that I'm very proud of. This is my die cutting station. There's my big shot, which sits on a dresser, and right above it I have my whiteboard that I take pictures on. I just removed the black paper that's in the middle right there off, and I have ATG tape in behind it, and I just attach my layouts to it and take my pictures from there. Moving on from there, I have a bunch of shelving. I do have one shelf right here that sits on top of the dresser, and it holds the majority of my Martha Stewart punches. And let me just get a close-up for you. I don't know if you can see on some of the punches, I do have the letter M on them, and that means that they have a matching partner. I'm really trying to go slow here and not make you crazy or dizzy. So forgive me if I do make you dizzy. I'm not trying to shake. So yeah, that's where my punches, the majority of the Martha Stewart punches are. And then below that I have my embossing folders. And below that I have my thin rule dies. And I will get into that in just a minute. Right next to that, oh by the way, this shelf is from Walmart. It is a taller media unit. Right next to that I have two more media units from Walmart, and let me back up a little bit here. I don't think you're going to see the full height, but you can see all the way down to the bottom, all the way up top. And they are two media units, and how you can tell, let me see here, right here, this top unit is actually inverted upside down. And the reason I did that was because if you look up at the top, you can see that the very top shelf, which would actually be the bottom of the unit, juts out, and I really didn't feel like dealing with pulling out a saw. So I just inverted them and then attached them together with brackets in the back, and it works really well. So I have more punches over here, mostly the ones I use the less of. And then down below I have pictures, miscellaneous stuff. I have some glitters down there, my Xyron, etc. And then moving on a little further over, I have two units from IKEA. These are again DVD storage units. I believe this is called Benno, and I have two of them next to each other. And I have all my Tim Holtz and Sizzix dies in the units. The shelves are adjustable, which is great because I can put all my taller dies in one spot and not have to find another place to put them. And as well, it works really great for the smaller on the edge dies right there. And then down below is again miscellaneous, and all those salt and pepper jars right there, yeah, glitter. I have a problem. So I wanted to share that with you, and I also want to go a little bit more in depth about my embossing folders and steel rule dies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on the tripod so I don't make you any more dizzy, and it'll also free up my hands to show you exactly what I've done. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Alright, we're going to start off with my embossing folders, and the storage for these was totally inspired by Jennifer Mcguire, and I will put a link to her videos on her embossing folders and die storage, and that really is where I got the idea to do this. As well, excuse me, the box itself was inspired by Cynthia Luhu. Hi Cindy, thank you. She's been making a lot of organizational storage videos, and she just totally inspired me to go ahead and make my own box since I couldn't find one that would fit on my little shelf here. So I'm not going to bore you by running through every folder that I have, but I will give you the categories that I'm using, and those could change for yourselves. So whatever works for you is what you need to do. Mine are different than Jennifer Mcguire's, so I would assume that yours would be different than mine. So I have basic shapes, borders, Christmas, the diffusers, which I might actually use these now since I can get to them. I have fabric-inspired floral frames, geometric, Halloween, the large backgrounds, which I love these large background folders. Other, so that's anything that doesn't fit in my other categories. Paper-inspired, so obviously if it's something that I look at and looks like it reminds me of paper, then that's where it goes. Steampunk and textures. And I'm really loving this for the simple reason that I can just flip through this and I can find what I'm looking for. I'm not going through open packaging, etc. I hate doing that, which is one of the issues that I'm having with trying to find really good storage for my stamps as well as for my papers, but I'm working on that one. So as soon as I get that done, I will bring it out in another video. But anyways, that's my embossing folder storage, and I'm going to put this up on the shelf and show you the storage for my thin rule dies. Now, I have a book here. It does say spellbinders on it, but it's not appropriate anymore. This is how I used to store all my thin rule dies. I don't do that anymore. I actually only have the one book, and the only reason I still have it is because it holds all of my long dies. So in this particular case, all my border shaped dies and all my Cherry Lin dies, which these ones are like 7 inches across. Part of the reason why I changed my system is, one, because trying to find magnetic sheeting that wasn't super expensive was almost impossible, so I ended up resorting to the 1-inch strips, and it does work. But after a while, if you stand your books up like this on the shelf, then those magnetic strips keep falling and falling unless you glue them down in place. And even then, and also the books were getting heavy, and trying to find a place to store them, which most of the time was on the floor next to my desk, wasn't really conducive to being productive in my room. So I needed to find a different way to store them. So once again, enter Jennifer Mcguire. Now her system for her dies it's the same principle, but she's obviously using a different storage method. And by that I mean how she stores them. She has hers on thin magnetic sheets, and she has them in little plastic storage sleeves. I don't want to deal with the sleeves. I don't want to deal with packaging, so that to me just means one more step, and I don't want to have to deal with that. So mine are just the magnetic sheets, and these sheets, I actually bought them from a company called Stamp & Storage, and I actually found them. It was just one of those things where I was once again Googling magnetic sheets, and they popped up, so I went and had a look, and I was impressed enough to go ahead and buy a few packages. So their sheets are the magnetic sheets, and they are mounted, or laminated I should say, on chipboard. They do come in sets of 10 per package. Okay, so on my thin dies, what I've done here is that I'm placing one set per sheet. So this is my Spellbinders Shapeabilities, the Fleur de Lis accents. And if you have this set, you know that I'm missing the border, but the border is in the book because it's too tall, and I didn't want it sticking out from the metal because I figured it would just get knocked off, and then I'd have to Google again which one goes to which, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So again, I'm trying to make my life easy. So what I've done is I've placed the border in the book, and I did add a little label at the bottom that says border in book. That way I can't forget that I still have a border with it. So my categories: accents, backgrounds, basic shapes, birds and butterflies, doilies, flourishes, flowers, foliage, frame, tags, labels, miscellaneous shapes, motifs, Seasonal and Tim Holtz. And all these dividers, including the ones on my embossing folders, these are all recycled packaging from Prima. And I just cut them down to size. Actually, on one sheet you can get 4 out of each one. So let me tell you why I love these magnetic sheets so much. One, the stuff is not going to fall off of it. I can shake it around and move it around all I want. Now obviously if I were to bend it, everything would go popping off, but that's a whole different story. So that's one. Number 2, and I'm trying to find the one I'm looking for here, it holds things that I wasn't planning on putting on a magnetic sheet, and that includes my little Sizzlets dies. Plastic on one side, steel rule with foam on the other side. These probably weren't designed for that, but it holds it, and that makes me happy. Let me show you the best part, and this is the one that really had me confounded for a long time. Tim Holtz movers and shapers dies. I have 2 sets on this one here because these are so small. I had these on a magnetic board and they were forever falling off the magnetic board, or they were getting bumped. And for a while there I'd lost a couple of them and found them when I reorganized my room. But look at that. I mean, holy cow, that's pretty dang strong. And it's all in one place with the rest of my dies. I don't have to have a whole nother storage area somewhere else for those. Here's the one that really impresses me. This is the cargo stencil numbers, and that's pretty heavy. But look, it holds it. I love it. This is like the best thing I have found. So, if you're in the market for magnetic sheeting, stamp and storage, that's the place to go. And if you think that you can't get a whole lot in 2 little baskets, this is 80 sheets of magnets. That includes this one lone one that has nothing on it. I have 80 sheets in here plus my dividers. And if I really wanted to, I can put at least a couple more inches in each one of these baskets. So that's probably another 30 or 40 sheets that I could add in here. So that's one of the reasons why I love these. So this is just my little video on my organizational tips. Obviously, if it's something that would work for you, go ahead and do it for yourself. If that's not something that applies to you, then keep up with the storage that you have. But I guess I want to encourage you to find storage that works for you. Just because it's cute, just because it works for somebody else, doesn't mean it's what works for you. This works for me. This is what I'm going to do. I can't store my dies the way everybody else does. I can't store my punches the way everyone else does. And like I mentioned before, I'm working on a different way to store my papers and stamps. And as soon as I've got that figured out, I will show it to you. And I promise you, if you're one of those people that likes to flip through things, you're gonna love it. So, thank you for stopping by today. Thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. And have a great day. Thank you.